We have Dr. Donald E. Miller and Hrant Adourian Miller. Dr. Donald Miller is Firestone Professor of Religion at the University of Southern California and Executive Director of the Center for Religion and Civic Culture. He received his PhD in religion from USC in 1975. As for Mrs. Hrant Adourian Miller, she is the daughter of survivors of the Armenian genocide. She was born in Beirut and immigrated to the United States at the age of 11. Professor Miller is the author, co-author, or editor of 9 books, including 2 books written with his wife Lorna. In 1993, Survivors, An Oral History of the Armenian Genocide, and in 2003, Armenia, Portraits of Survival and Hope. Together, the Millers traveled to the Republic of Armenia at least 12 times. The work on the Armenian genocide led the Millers to Rwanda to observe the orphans and their challenges of daily survival. The Millers are currently writing a book on Rwanda based on 260 interviews, documenting survivors' coping mechanisms, focusing specifically on healing and forgiveness. Dr. Donald and Hrant Miller.
Actually, my wife always goes first.
That was terrible. Anyway, thank you very much for this recognition. I'm really inspired by Knights of Barkan, not only for holding up the importance of getting the word out about the genocide, but also everything they do for other Armenians in Armenia and young people here in this country. I also want to especially thank my parents who are the survivors, Hrant Adourian, and some 100 survivors who generously shared their stories with me over 15 years. Their struggles, the suffering, but also their tremendous hope and resilience to keep going. And the purpose of us writing the book was to give them a voice so that the generations coming will know their stories, be inspired by their stories, and get out of themselves and do things for others. So thank you for being here, and thank you for the recognition. And also, I take credit for bringing this Odar into the Armenian.
Sitting here tonight, I was thinking how different life would have been had I not met Lorna almost 50 years ago as an undergraduate at USC. And I really do credit her father, who out of a family of 9, only he and his sister survived the genocide. And it was his storytelling over many, many lunches on Sunday that inspired me and actually got me very interested in the history of Armenians. And once we finished writing the Survivors book, that then led to the opportunity to do another project in the Republic of Armenia, which then led to an invitation to this small country in Rwanda, which in 1994, almost 1 million people, at least 800,000 people were killed in a period of 100 days. And so life would have been extremely different, except for meeting Hrant Adourian. So I thank her actually for this award.
Our next honoree is Dr. Garabet Mumjian. He was born in Lebanon, where he attended Haïgazian University and Hamaskaïn École Supérieure d'Arménologie, where he received his BA in 1983. Upon his arrival to the United States in 1984, he enrolled at the University of Laverne, where he graduated with a BA degree in 1986. He was accepted as a graduate studies at UCLA, where he completed his master's MA degree in 1990 and PhD in 2012, majoring in Armenian history and minors in Ottoman, Middle Eastern, European, and Russian history. Besides English, Dr. Momjian is fluent in Armenian, Arabic, and modern Turkish. He also conducted research in Ottoman Turkish and has visited the Ottoman archives several times. He is also knowledgeable in French, classical Armenian as research languages. Dr. Momjian is the author of the archival documents of Viennese Armenian-Turkish platform. His PhD dissertation concerning Armenian and Young Turk relations in 1895 to 1909 is currently under publication by the University of Utah. He is also preparing a volume comprising unpublished works by Garo Sassouni in English and Armenian. Dr. Garavet Momjian.
It's not a lecture, I know. Such honors usually cuddle you. We know that. But what the honorer doesn't usually say, and it's beneath the lines, is something akin to this. We like your work, but we want you to continue and produce more. So the die is cast. The message has been given, the messenger is clear, and I got the message. And I have to do more in the coming months and years. I just want to thank my grandparents and parents who were inspirations for me for choosing my career and going in that direction. And also to my wife Nairi and my sons Hagop and Pirat, who still inspire me today. And thank you.
Dr. K. Muradian is a retired professor who holds 3 degrees, a BS, an MS, and a Doctor of Education degree. Upon retirement, she became an accomplished author and filmmaker, and she recently wrote, narrated, and co-produced the documentary My Mother's Voice, a story of the story of a 14-year-old girl from Hajin, Turkey, Flora Munushian, the filmmaker's mother. In order that the genocide never be forgotten, Dr. Muradian has lobbied tirelessly to assure that the Armenian genocide becomes part of every high school and college course curriculum, a mission to which she is fully committed. Assemblyman Chris Holden named Dr. Muradian as the 41st Assembly District Woman of the Year in 2014, and Congressman Adam Schiff named her the 2012 Woman of the Year for South Pasadena. May I present Dr. K. Muradian.
Look at me, Kay. Turn around. One more.
And I too want to thank the Knights of Artan and the Daughters of Artan as well for this honor. You know, I personally am very much concerned about where the Armenian genocide will be in our educational system 50 years from now. And unless teachers are teaching it, it will fade away into history as if it never happened. and then Talat would have won. So we all need your help, and the help that you can give us is to help our educators understand what actually happened in 1915. So I'm asking you, whatever book you have on the genocide that you feel is important, or a film that you feel is important, buy it and take it to a school library. And then maybe that will be a beginning to help teachers understand what really happened. So, thank you very much.
The next honoree, the Honorable Hrant Adourian, is the California Assembly representing the 46th District. Hrant grew up in San Fernando Valley, and after graduating from Perahian High School, he entered UCLA, where he received his BA degree in economics in 1996. Upon graduating from UCLA, Hrant participated in the prestigious Coro Fellowship in Public Affairs program. From 97 to 99, he served as an aide to Congressman Brad Sherman. In 1999, former Governor Gray Davis appointed him as Special Assistant to the California Trade and Commerce Agency. Hrant also served as Chief of Staff to Los Angeles Council member Paul Krikorian, and on December 3, 2012, Hrant was inaugurated into the California State Assembly. During his tenure, he has authored several pieces of legislation, but his most notable, and the one nearest and dearest to the Armenian community, is the AB 1915, the Armenian Genocide Education Act. This measure requires the inclusion of the Armenian genocide in the list of studies area in social sciences of grades 7 through 12. Hrant was also instrumental in the passing of Assembly Joint Resolution 32, which recognizes Nagorno-Karabakh Republic as a sovereign state. Hrant and his wife Diana live in Sherman Oaks with their sons Alex and David. Honorable Hrant Adourian.
So I've been told that I have 45 minutes. Right, I'm the politician, right? Just a couple of thoughts that I want to share with all of you. First and foremost, I'm very humbled by this. You can't hear me? My God, that's a first. Exactly, tell me about it. First and foremost, I'm very humbled for this. Thank you to the Knights and Daughters of Vartan for this recognition. Usually recognitions like this come to someone later in their career, not just after having served 2 years. So I don't feel that I really, I've done anything at all to be standing with folks like this right behind me, who I've either worked with Carla before to showcase her program in Sacramento, to other legislators in the past in 2008, or with Zaruhi, who she probably doesn't even remember, but has supported almost every single one of the campaigns I've ever managed, or with Professor Cowie, who not only do I represent you in Sherman Oaks as your assembly, but also credit goes to Anahit Tutunjan Cowie, who she and I started the, I joined her a year after it had started the Armenian Generation Next Mentorship Program, which was a great program and has grown over the years to become a very well-funded program helping at-risk Armenian students in Glendale Unified School District. So I can go down the list, but Dr. Mumjan probably doesn't even remember, but I was a student at UCLA for a year. So I stand on the shoulders, the broad shoulders of these wonderful people, and my shoulders are going to be broad enough also for the next generation to stand on mine. And one of the greatest honors for me so far has been to be able to take not just a former speaker, but a group of colleagues to Armenia and to Karabakh and in front of the parliament of Artsakh, stand before them and let them know that it's been a long path for my family and I to be back in Shushi after 95 years, 94 when we went, because my grandparents were forced out in 1920 when Shushi was burned down. So to that point, the only other thing I want to leave with you, we all may have an expectation that the genocide must be recognized, and we always have our hope shattered every year in April. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. What matters is, one, we're here, and we're more than just here. We're thriving. We've done extremely well. You look at any society, it's built on 4 pillars: social, economic, political, and spiritual. And we've done it all. Political was the last one, but we're getting there. And we're only gonna grow. Just give me another 20 years. I will guarantee you, between Paul Krikorian and I, we will make sure that there are more Armenians elected to public office. But aside from that, don't forget that it's also gonna take an investment of community members to not just run for public office, but serve in those key positions as young staffers who then develop into the future undersecretaries, assistant undersecretaries, deputy secretaries, whatever the position may be, because those are going to be the folks who are going to change the mindset at the public service level, at the bureaucracy level. Electeds come and go, but bureaucrats have the profound power of shifting paradigms. And so I'll do my part, but let's always not forget to make sure that more young folks are engaged and move to greater heights in all aspects of public service. So with that, thank you again.
Okay, almost finished. Last but not least, Rubina Manassian Perumian has a PhD in Near Eastern languages and cultures from UCLA and has taught Armenian Studies courses at UCLA, Glendale Community College, and the University of Laverne. She has lectured widely and internationally and has made presentations on the Armenian question, the Armenian genocide, and women's issues. She has contributed chapters in scholarly volumes and journals and has published entries in Armenian and international encyclopedias. As a pioneer in the field of genocide education, she has initiated and compiled a package of age-appropriate material in both Eastern and Western Armenian to teach the Armenian genocide to Armenian students K through 12, and she has conducted several workshops in California and in Armenia to introduce the material. Dr. Perumian is a recipient of 5 impressive and important awards. May I present Dr. Perumian.
To be the last one to speak has 2 advantages. One of them is that I was sitting down all the time while my colleagues, I mean my the fellow honorees were standing all the time. The second one is that since being the last one, I could speak as much as I like. But I'm going to keep very short. I was told that it should be less than 1 minute, so I'm going to do that. Thank you very much for this honor. My contribution in promoting awareness of the genocide and genocide education is just a drop in an ocean of need. And I appreciate the Knights of Vartan for recognizing this need. But there is so much more to be done. My only hope is that during this year of the centennial,